Painting on different types of paper with metallic watercolors can be very tricky to do. So today I'm going to talk to you about the differences of painting on both black and white watercolor paper while using metallic watercolor paints. I normally get a lot of people telling me that the black paper intimidates them because they don't know how it works or what to paint. Working on black watercolor paper is essentially the opposite of working on white, where you preserve the black of the paper to use as your shadows, as opposed to using the white of the paper for your highlights. So keeping this in mind, I'm working very transparent to opaque in terms of my metallics. I generally start off with the iridescent colors, which are essentially invisible on white paper, but show up in a very subtle way on black. As I build up my image, I'm moving more into those pearlescent, opaque colors that are a little bit stronger. The main concern while working completely with metallics is legibility, and you have to work a lot harder to get clarity on black paper than white. So one way to skirt around this when painting with metallics is by incorporating some acrylic ink into the painting. If you use acrylic ink in white, you'll get those strong highlights that you may be missing, and it will provide extra contrast. And alternatively, you can use black acrylic ink to put back in some shadows that may have been overtaken by the metallics. By adding in a color with a satin finish, you will be able to control the metallic quality of the paint in a different way. One will be with adding water to dilute the opacity and strength of the metallic, but the other will be to add the actual satin paint in and control the sheen of the paint that way. You can also give the eye a place to rest by doing this. Because these metallic paints in particular have a gum arabic binder, they're very compatible with other water-based medias. Most metallic watercolors will be, but just something to look for. You can also try using a black colored pencil to shade some areas, and it will lightly push back some of the metallic sheen that you get off of the paints. One other thing to keep in mind as you work with metallic paints, especially on black paper just because it is so reflective, is to be able to move your light source around your desk. You want to make sure to view your metallics from different angles, as they will look different in different lights. Painting on white watercolor paper with these paints is such a different experience. With our new white background, we'll be able to have better control of our value, as well as the strength of our colors. I generally opt to use the pearlescent colors on white backgrounds, as they are much more opaque and have a stronger metallic appearance. It also gives us the opportunity to use traditional watercolors with our metallics. So you can choose what areas are metallic, where they mix, and how strong those metallics are, depending on the amount of water that you add. So you can make these as subtle and subdued as you'd like, or you can really pile them up and have them be quite bold. You also have the opportunity to mix your own metallic colors. If you grab just a single color like Glittering Sea, you'll be able to tone it to any metallic color that you'd like. Try mixing your standard watercolors into the Glittering Sea pearlescent color, such as adding a little bit of Viridian, and you'll end up with a metallic Viridian. Absolutely beautiful and more noticeable on white paper than black. If using finetec alone or paired with standard watercolors, you will see that if you use a lot of water, that these colors will actually self-level. The mica will kind of sink down, so if you'd like the mica to be in a specific area, just make sure to use more paint and less water. Overall, I think that working on the white paper gives you the chance to use a lot more techniques, and you'll have a little bit better control over how the metallic paint looks. However, working on that black paper is a fun challenge and gives such a dramatic look. You can also use metallics just to embellish a painting that you've already done. Especially if you're just trying them out for a first time, I think that this is a great way to learn a little bit about how they work. I hope that you enjoyed watching these dazzling hummingbirds come to life, and hopefully you were able to pick up a tip or two on working with black or white paper. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you would like to learn more about metallic paints. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week.